Hello and welcome to the rMetroidvania Let's Play Night. I am Professor Q.
And this is Cauldrath from the rMetroidvania Discord and subreddit.
Hi, this is Master. I'm also from there.
And tonight we're playing the Legend of Djinns Mira demo for the Kickstarter that just started, I think it was today.
I think it was a couple of days ago. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's a Kickstarter that's live right now, and you can.
Yeah. I think the demo just came out today, but the Kickstarter
Yeah.
came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, I think the Kickstarter hit like Friday or Thursday. Whatever the case is, it's the clock's ticking. So, if
Yep.
you are interested in supporting this game, we'll find out as we play this demo how it looks. I mean, look at the art here. It's very nice. Just this opening title screen. I've seen screenshots of it. It looks great, at least from an asset standpoint. So let's see what the game's like.
So, bunch of controls. I'll try to remember them.
Yeah, those screens are never useful to me. It's like without context, it's just like okay.
I love control. Scheme screens.
They're fine. I mean, they're harmless, but they're not really helpful to me.
There's some games where they have similar schemes to other games, but they're different, and the control scheme screen will help remind me. Or if something just has a lot of different hotkeys.
Like, I like them when you can go to a menu and see it, but when it's just like, throws it on the screen at the beginning of the game and expects you to memorize everything, that
Well,
I don't like.
I like the ones for like a color-coded keyboard on the screen, and it groups like the different types of inputs you can do.
Little typo in equipment there, if I'm gonna be nitpicky. I like
Also a little weird the way. So when you turn, there's actually a little delay. I think. So I think there's an They did that so that they can have that animation there, but it doesn't always. Like if you turn and then immediately turn again, then it doesn't happen.
It might be a little bit choppy on the stream. Nope. It's just coming through choppy, so that's fine. It is what it is. But I really like the pixel art. Pixel art's very nice.
Yep.
Animations are really cool. So is it Legend of the Djinns Mira, or is it Mira Legend of the Djinns?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think it's Legend of Djinns Mira, because that's the order the words show up on the screen. So actually, okay, if I look at the like title of the like program, it's Mira _ the Legend of the Djinns.
I think that it's Mira Legend of the Djinns is the Steam page too, so it's one of those. It's like for Resident Evil, where they put it backwards for some reason.
Don't open Dead Inside.
Yeah.
I don't like when backwards letters or numbers are a thing because people are trying to be cool. Like, don't sacrifice readability for aesthetics.
So I have no idea what the heal button is. Hopefully, I'll never need to use it.
It seems like it's like the Ori and the Will of the Wisp system, where you have your shared mana bar with your spells. Or, Hollow Knight, I guess, is another example of that. I really like the art style of this game. Like, the actual drawings are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Does look nice.
From an animation standpoint, it looks pixel art, but the movement is too perfect, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't seem to move on a grid like with the pixels, but rather like it's a pixel art put on top of like the puppets that they do for games like I guess Ender Lilies and Salt and Sanctuary, those games.
Oh, where it's the 2D skeletal animation?
Yeah, it looks like the movement feels like 2D skeletal animations rather than pixel art movement. because the pixel art has to move along the pixel grid, and this feels like it's off from that grid.
I don't think they're trying to do pixel art per se, because I mean, it's relatively high resolution. Just seems more like they did art that happens to be, not super high resolution, if that makes sense.
You don't have your double jump yet.
So it certainly doesn't look like it has, the pixel snapping or anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's what makes it different from like Time Spinner or other games that have pixel art where they actually follow that convention. I do like the style though. It kind of reminds me of Xenogears a little bit, just like that, because Xenogears was the same way. You had polygons on you had the pixel art on the polygonal backgrounds, so you had that kind of motion, I don't know, sprite on top of background look. I need to find better words to describe this.
Maybe it's just beyond description.
Well, I don't believe in that. I think it's possible to articulate anything.
You just make up a new word. It's Xenogears like.
It's word, there's no English equivalent. It's like red fruit of some kind. You mean an apple? Oh.
An apple-like.
Apple-like, yeah. We were talking about how why we use Metroidvania instead of some other descriptor. And it's just like how we describe food. You'll say it tastes like chicken or that sort of thing. And then we were just joking about making everything into a genre.
This is the Kickstarter demo, right?
Correct.
I guess it makes sense for the effects look kind of placeholder.
Yeah.
Which effects do you think look placeholder to you?
Save point items.
What was that? The Forsaken Castle, like the early screenshots had like squares that you broke, and then like they replaced the squares with like actual environment objects. What is going on with that game anyway? I wonder how they're doing. I always worry when it seems like a game is about to come out and then suddenly it just stops for 2 years.
I like the look of the flying enemy here. Looks very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it moves a bit erratically, though.
I know I'm watching this through your stream, but it does seem like there's a little bit of jank in the way things move.
It looks like you're experiencing slowdown.
Yeah, I remember seeing some. Yeah, I am. I remember seeing something about like you can, if you have slowdown, then maybe there's some dependencies you're supposed to download. So, and also this is a demo, like an alpha demo.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can heal myself.
I mean, the art style.
This is
the art style definitely doesn't look like it should have jank, because there's definitely some huge polish with the animations.
Yeah, I do not mean to pass any judgment on too much judgment on a Kickstarter alpha. Because things like visuals or something that's, well, in this case graphics at least seem like they're kind of a priority. I don't know. I like when Kickstarters explicitly describe the things that are going to change, the things they're currently happy with.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you have the ability to just climb those walls. So you picked up a pickaxe just now. Did you see what it does?
It said that I can break rocks and climb certain walls. I don't know what the climbable walls are, but like here's some rocks. I guess I can't just use the.
I was about to say, you have to figure out what button you have to push soon. Yeah, it sounds like you're probably going to have to get that tweak patch to fix your slowdown. Another thing that reminds me of Xenogears is just the outfit he's wearing. Or she's wearing. Is it a she?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to remember. They had the character's face earlier.
Okay, I had to go to the menu.
So it makes you do 2 swings for each attack.
Yeah, I'm pressing it once. It's just a single tap.
Interesting.
I wonder if it can be used as a weapon.
Not a very good weapon if it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weapon.
And maybe only the second swing works?
I don't think you were close enough for the first swing to hit.
I don't think I can get any closer than that. Yeah.
Maybe the enemy is just too low on the ground because the first swing doesn't go all the way down. Just
True.
realized that.
The animations are fantastic, though. I like that when you get hit animation. It's very anime.
Oh, I've been using my, like, potions, not whatever the healing move is. So now I'm out of them.
You should have memorized all those controls at the beginning.
So it actually says you're supposed to use the D-pad to switch. Oh, you're apparently supposed to use. Okay, so it says to use the D-pad to switch items and equipment, but if you look on the screen in the upper right, it shows that it's actually the right stick.
It bugs me that they disappear after the first hit instead of the second, those rocks.
Maybe the first hit is only for blocks and the second hit is only for enemies.
Are you able to go up the right side of the wall? I guess you can test it somewhere else. With the pickaxe out. Maybe the pickaxe just prevents you from sliding.
I can't, like, even if I'm mashing it, it doesn't. Maybe if I hold it. Nope.
I wonder if there. So the stone walls had like little notches in them. I'm wondering if that.
What is that kind of wall, anyways?
Wooden panels. I find the trope of you can only wall jump off of certain walls to be kind of an interesting one. Very important that you convey that really well. I played one game that had that mechanic, but it was really difficult to tell which walls were the ones that you were allowed to jump off of sometimes.
Yeah, this one, it does kind of blend a little unless you, like, really know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So how does the combat feel?
Well, right now it's kind of button mashing because I only have the one just simple combo, but I've seen trailers where there's a lot more stuff you can do.
Sure.
This game does seem like more of a combo hit game rather than a position based game.
Well, the enemies don't seem to have a lot of hit stuns, so that generally indicates that it's not that combo based of a game.
They seem to be stunned pretty, or at least that slug was. I wonder if it's just different types of enemies.
Yeah, like the zombies don't seem to have that much hit stun, but the slugs, I guess the slugs do.
What have we seen so far? We've seen the roly-poly zombies and the flyers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Not quite sure
He seems pretty
aesthetically
stunned.
what this game is.
I guess maybe it does have hit stun on them, it's just like not as obvious.
Yeah, you seem to be interrupting his attack.
Does look like you you press the button until the enemy is dead.
Yeah. The walk up and dispatch type of combat. And when you're doing like you really gotta when you do hit stun based combat like the character action game style.
Did I just get air dash?
Sort of. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say the first dash. I was a little worried.
I was holding it the first time, and then I don't know.
You're supposed to. Yeah.
Oh, there's apparently a meter.
There is a meter.
Left.
Like if you're gonna do hit stun based combat, being able to juggle enemies and having enemies that swarm you is usually the way you kind of manage that challenge.
I wonder if I could. No.
When you have like one enemy at a time like this, it's generally looking like it's pretty non-threatening, but that could change. This could just be tutorialized stuff.
But you have to pay money to open chests.
Well, not all of them, just like that particular one.
Are you doing a lot more damage? It seems like you're killing those things faster now.
I got a soul crystal. I don't know what that does.
Looks like it's just a currency.
Oh, it's in the lower right corner. Yeah,
It's next to your gold.
Probably should have been paying more attention to the numbers that I was doing to the enemies.
It seems like you're killing them faster, but it looks like the numbers are the same, but I haven't been paying that much attention to it either.
Through there yet. Was there a map?
It's hard to judge the gameplay when the gameplay is in slow motion.
Hey, look, you can look at this anytime you want. Where's the heal button?
Just say heal.
I don't see
Nothing
the heal
is
button.
labeled heal. Use tool projectile. Oh wait, maybe hold down. Plus Y.
Yeah,
It didn't heal me.
that made you very shiny for a second.
It's probably some sort of block.
That is now your cast magic missile with the darkness spell.
Okay, so I'm usually a fan of chromatic aberration, but I do not like it here.
What do you mean?
When the enemies are colorful when you're hitting them.
Oh. You think it's too sparkly?
There's a term for pretty much everything.
So what do you think rubs you the wrong way about how it shows up here?
It does, I don't know, it's kind of distracting. It doesn't, I don't think it really adds much.
So now
It
9,000.
doesn't make sense for it to just be on an enemy once you start attacking them.
Able to suck things in with that? I'm trying to figure out what that shiny does.
I'm gonna try to use it as a parry, see if that works.
So now
That does
9,000. Now 9,000 says that it also has the colors of a cheeseburger when you hit the enemies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the problem is.
Master just hates cheeseburgers.
I don't know if you like cheeseburgers. They don't have peanut butter on them. Peanut butter
They could.
cheeseburger.
Actually, I had a burger with peanut butter on it like a week ago.
Oh, how'd that turn out?
It was good. Okay, so it was
Alright, that
it was like a patty with peanut butter and some blueberry sauce, and it was on
That's
like very thick
interesting.
bread, kind of Texas toast.
Was this a recipe or is this just something you made?
No, I got this from a restaurant.
Wow. Okay. It's interesting. Wasn't it like
They-
Elvis who did like peanut butter and banana sandwiches or something?
Yeah, those are good.
No, it was.
Not that I eat those, but
I don't
I
remember
would if
exactly
it
what
was offered to me.
I'm gonna Google
Yeah,
this
that's
real quick.
Yeah, so there's a lot of overused effects in video games and movies. Chromatic aberration is one of them, and usually I don't mind it. So it looks like the effect goes away after hitting the enemy for these zombies of sorts, but then when you hit the roly-polies, the effect kind of sticks on them.
It also seems like it does some sort of blur at the same time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this was Elvis's sandwich. It was a pound of bacon, a pound of peanut butter, and a pound of grape jelly with French white bread.
Oh.
So it was bacon, banana, and peanut butter and jelly. Which actually sounds kind of good, as unhealthy as that probably is. Bacon and peanut butter.
Actually, there was bacon on the burger as well. I forgot to mention that.
Now 9000 says, shocking he died like he did. He didn't die. He was abducted by aliens, and you know it. I still think that's one of the funnier... I don't know. Is that a meme? Funnier things that be spread around the United States.
It's misinformation, a meme.
I don't think anybody actually believes that Elvis was abducted by aliens, but it was just one of those funny legends.
It's probably in Argentina. That's where everyone goes after they die.
Argentina? Are you saying that Argentina is heaven, or is it the other option?
Have you guys seen the Calvin and Hobbes, where it's like, where do people go when they die? And I think Hobbes says Pittsburgh, and then Calvin asks if they're good or if they're bad.
So now 9000 says that he's 100% sure that there are a large number of people who believe exactly that Elvis was abducted or that he never died. And you know what? These days...
People believe a lot of strange things.
I was about to say, these days I completely believe that somebody believes that.
Think about the average person.
And that's true.
You know how the saying goes, I'm not even going to finish it because it makes me cliche.
Not wanting to avoid cliches is cliche, master. You can't escape it.
Well, sounds like a paradox.
I love the animations.
Oh, hey,
They're
foreground
great.
element.
Yeah, whenever I see a foreground element covering a wall, I automatically assume that that wall is fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those foreground elements are very unobtrusive, but I would be mad if they did hide things behind them.
So now 9000 says, picture the intelligence of the average person and realize that half the population is dumber than that.
Just had to finish it.
It is a scary thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in average intelligence versus... or measuring intelligence that way. So you're using your yellow energy now. So it says... Okay, we haven't figured out how to heal yet. So you've got 2 resource bars. You got your blue bar and you got your yellow bar. And yellow obviously controls your dash, which... Have you...
Health, magic, stamina.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So do you think the healing spell uses the yellow resource, or do you think it uses the blue resource?
The yellow replenishes extremely fast, so surely it uses the blue.
Wait, Cauldrath, try dashing twice and then use that weird yellow flashlight and see if that... Does that restore stamina? Like doing that?
Yeah,
I think it just is already fast. Can you
think it's
hold like down
coincidental.
and the dash button to do anything?
down plus dash doesn't do anything. Up plus dash does nothing. So before I got that dash move, I could do a back dash, and now it uses a meter. Pretty sure the meter wasn't there before, though.
I think the meter's been there since the beginning. Roll back the
Oh, maybe
footage.
it's-
Instant replay. If only I had the resources to do that. It's telling you to push up?
Yeah. So apparently, can I? So I think it looks like that just toggles getting into the push, but pressing left doesn't push it. Pressing right just moves me away from it.
Anytime I see anything like this, I think about in Fallout 1, there's a cave full of scorpions. And you're supposed to save the village from these scorpions. But if you're doing a pacifist run where you don't want to fire your gun for any reason, you can blow up the entrance of the cave. So because I guess asphyxiating scorpions is better than just murdering them with a gun. But like, it's bizarre because you never blow up the entrance of anything in that game. So figuring out that's even a mechanic that's possible seems a little bit strange from the context of the rest of the game's systems.
Interesting.
And I always wonder, like, sometimes there are mechanics like that crop up in these games that you use it in one place, and because it's only used in that one place, it's counterintuitive that it's even an option. And I'm trying to figure out if that's what's going on with this pedestal here.
Seems like pushing is just the thing you will do in this game, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe you need your gauntlet of power.
Oh, so the D-pad won't let you push, but the analog stick will.
Well, can you move with the D-pad normally?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
So let's add that to the bug list. But
Yeah, okay. Or
Report that stuff.
criticism list, however you want to say it. Let's see. Control does that. There's a point where you come to a door covered with red light, and you have to pass through it. To drop through, you have to find a few red nodes and attack them. Never came up before or again. Well, they do have the things where you have to throw rocks at the red things to open doors. As for passing through a thing that you drop through, though, I guess that would be unique.
And there is a lot of attacking nodes. One of the main sort of side missions you can get is destroying a bunch of nodes in an area. I know it comes up a few times, but I don't remember in what context.
I remember there's a required one early in the mechanical area. This is an interesting. So, Master,
Actually, no, in the DLCs it does come up.
Was that a puzzle or an activity, Master?
What was it?
He was lighting torches.
Oh, it's an activity.
It's an interesting. Yeah, it's not the most interesting activity for that situation. It does fall into that definition of just something to do.
It's interesting how different games approach the same problem, like with pushing things. So in this one you have to toggle to go into the pushing state and then walk against it.
Well, you usually have to toggle, but usually it's like a face button plus the directions instead of pushing a direction and then moving. Like normally we'd push the attack button, and that would get you clung to the object. Some 2D platformers that you just walk up next to it and you automatically start pushing, but it's not uncommon to have to go into a pushing state. Let's see. So, pre-alpha. Do you think the popularity of early access have changed what game versions mean? That is funny, though. Now you mention it, calling it a pre-alpha is like.
it's also version 1.0.
Is it version 1.0? That's right. I think I remember
It says
saying
right
that.
it says it in the lower left corner.
Pre-alpha
demo
version,
v
yeah.
1.0.
Maybe they count down to 0 and then start going into the negatives for the actual versions.
Maybe it's 1.0 of the alpha, and then it'll have different versions for. I don't know what this thing's gonna do. Okay.
So, do we think that the process has changed in the years since public alpha beta testing? Do you think early access has changed that? I don't know.
Yes.
I think it's all just names. You can call it whatever you want. Pre-alpha is just a very silly term. I think calling it pre-alpha makes all the issues excused, I guess. Maybe. Because this
People
is
have certain expectations for alpha. Well, I mean, when I think of alpha, like, the game could be in a complete wreck of a state. I feel like alpha is your game's playable, and that's it.
turning up the volume of the game a little bit.
The game is playable though, so shouldn't it be considered alpha?
Yeah, like, I would call this an alpha. Like, pre-alpha, I think, just is encompassed within alpha. Unless pre-alpha is not a playable game.
It's the same way
That's
with
just... No, I see it.
It's the same way with versions. They don't mean anything. They're just numbers that they use to.
There's
They do mean
semantic
things.
versioning. Yeah. So like if there's 3 numbers and like the first one means that it's a breaking change, and the second one means that
What I mean by them not meaning anything, though, is that what you would call a breaking change is determined arbitrarily by the developer. Like, when does it change the number?
Well, if it's something somebody else uses, then a breaking change is something that makes it so that somebody using your product, it may no longer function. I'm gonna go the other direction first.
Yeah, like, it is up to the developer to, do these things, but ultimately there's pretty strong convention for a lot of these terms, even if they vary with the team using them.
Yeah, for games it doesn't mean as much as like
Sure.
packages being used.
Yeah, I've seen it change numbers just completely for no reason at times. Like with MMORPGs, usually they do each expansion is a number, but when it comes to online games, it can be anything that causes it. So calling something pre-alpha, I think it's a bit silly, but they can call it whatever they want. Basically, it just means it's not done yet.
So how do you enjoy this game so far, Cauldrath?
Okay. I think that like a lot of the performance issues are getting in the way. So I probably should have tested this out beforehand and then made sure that I had all the kinks.
It's a dilemma because people like to see people playing things blind so that they can react naturally. But then you have issues with technical problems. So Now 9000 says it's interesting to me because in the past it would have been a lot less important to avoid breaking saves as you develop a game. Now it seems like they go out of the way to avoid that. I can't imagine that doesn't impact how something is developed. That's probably true. It depends on the developer too. A lot of early access games you lose your save, depending on the way the program is constructed. I played one game, Legends of the Universe, that anytime he patched the game post-release, it deleted everybody's saves just because of the way he constructed the game.
Like that was a piece of art.
People hate losing progress.
Yeah, they do. Ender Lilies let me keep my entire save file from early access, which was nice.
I get the impression that once something is in early access, not a lot of important things will necessarily change.
Depends on the game. I've seen games change completely during early access, and I've seen games basically stay exactly the same. My assumption is that what you see in early access is about what you're going to get, because I don't know. I just lost faith that people progress past a certain point. But
kind of what I mean. If it's in early access, it's either gonna stay there 6 years or it's releasing soon and it's not changing much.
right. Yeah, I feel like with Ender Lilies, the early access was more of an advertisement thing than it was a necessity for any reason.
I don't like when, well, I'm not sure how I feel about when games do the early access thing where they release, like, the first part of the game.
So one thing this game does is it lets you walk back and forth while you're comboing, which is really nice.
So now 9000 says there should be a name for games that are just eternally in early access, and there is a name for that. It's called bad.
Or vaporware.
Yeah.
7 days to die, basically. Is that early access still?
So,
Looking this up.
Master, you're saying that you didn't want to like judge the game too much because it's in beta. I think it's good to judge it now, because anything we say now can be taken into consideration during the game's development, and this is the best time to be critical, I think.
Well, sure. The
So there's-
observation that the effects are clearly placeholder is
Sure, sure.
It's not useful to the developers
So,
if it's intended to be placeholder,
did you know that
because they already know that.
the menu in Symphony of the Night was intended to be placeholder, but they shipped it that way because it worked, and that was enough for the development team, I guess. That's why the menu in Symphony of the Night looks like a debug menu.
Okay, well, this is one of the only chromatic aberration effects that I hate. So maybe they're still going in that direction with the effect.
So-
Even if they're gonna change it a bit.
So the reason why I brought up now is the time to be critical is because right now I feel like there isn't any direction in the way the game world is designed. It seems like Cauldrath is just doing things.
I agree.
I mean, that's
Anything
kind of what I
looks
do.
samey,
Well, I
but
get
it's
that,
just one biome.
but like I should have an understanding of what your goals are. Like you met Mira at the beginning, and I admit that we didn't really read what was going on, but nothing else has occurred to kind of drive that story forward at all.
And can you say the same thing about Metroid?
Oh, Metroid was all about that. Like it led you along the entire game. Well, you're talking about the original. You're talking about the original Metroid. Sorry, I'm talking about Super Metroid. But
Well, even Super Metroid, it may guide you along level design wise, but it doesn't really give you a reason to go anywhere.
you're looking for
Well,
the baby
just-
Metroid the entire time, and after you beat Ridley, you see the broken glass, indicating that the Metroid has gotten out.
So there's 2 points in the entire game that it
Well,
gives you a spot reason to do anything.
the rest of it, you uncover details in Zeebs that lead to other parts of Zeebs. And you know that your goal is to find Ridley. Now, regardless of what you're finding along the way, it is guiding you along.
Also got micro goals and such, like, oh, I know I need to get this specific upgrade for this door,
Right.
and this is a new direction to explore. What are you doing right now in this game?
Yeah, what are you
What is
trying to
your goal?
accomplish?
Yeah, I don't really.
We turned on all the traps. That was... Anyway, just a criticism. That this is the second time I've played a demo in the last... Or, watched a demo in the last month that it didn't really feel like I was being... It felt like what I was doing lacked a point. And
Also, there hasn't been a single boss fight.
yeah, it feels like right by now, we've been doing this for 40 minutes now. It seems like by now there should have been a boss fight or something. But, this
To
is
be fair,
pre-alpha, so it
Yeah.
could just be literally prototype level design, but
game time is slowed down, so you have to compensate for that. Maybe maybe the 40 minutes we've spent playing are only 20 minutes to our protagonist here.
So, like, compare this to, say, the Haiku demo, where they kind of led you along and then had a boss fight within the first half hour. It was a pretty good indicator of what the game was going to be like in the long run. And if this is an indicator of what the game is going to be like, it feels like it would be easy to lose interest.
Yeah. I still think, well, I don't know how much of the slogginess is from the gameplay or the lag or the level design.
Sure.
It's hard to tell.
It does take a while to kill, like, even minor enemies, and I guess that I don't really need to be killing them. Like, they do drop gold, but I have enough to open 3 chests at this point.
Yeah.
You have a map.
That is another...
I did not see a map. Oh wait, maybe... No.
I think that's another valid criticism, is it doesn't seem like you're ever in any actual danger because of the amount of hits done that your sword has.
I don't see much that's signposting the environment. Like, I wouldn't recognize most of these rooms as being distinct rooms.
But the animations are fantastic.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm not
That's clearly their selling point for this game.
the hugest fan of the animation. I think they're fine.
They make me nostalgic,
don't care that much.
but that's certainly going to be a bias.
Guess I'm immune to nostalgia.
Like, I like Xenogears and Valkyrie Profile, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. Valkyrie Profile is actually a good analogy here.
It was a joke, by the way.
Sure.
So it seems like the skulls are invincible while they're shooting,
It looks like it.
which is really annoying.
So do you have iframes when you dodge? It looks like you do.
I think the skulls just don't have... Actually, I think this game just in general doesn't have
Doesn't have contact
collision damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
Their
that's fine.
movement also seems annoyingly erratic. Like, the game slowed down and they're still kind of jerking about.
It really reminds me of Xenogears in that way. Xenogears kind of jerked about too.
What even is Xenogears?
So here they tried
Many
to
Xenogames.
swarm you, which, like, as I was saying, when you're comboing enemies, that is where most of the threat comes in, is when another enemy comes and gets you from behind or something
It
along
seems like
those
you're
lines.
mobile enough to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like, you can dash cancel and jump cancel your combos.
I like that spectator zombie up there who's just kind of watching you kill all his friends. I also like how when you kill them, like, bones just fly out of them. It's just a funny...
And once again, it was probably completely unnecessary for me to kill most of those. But they were there, so they had to die.
The
Oh,
parallax
I'm
background.
guessing that I'm gonna get a spell to, like, blow up these things, which is why there's this crystals here.
Yeah, that's probably a good...
It bonked my microphone. Do I sound any different?
So, okay, so let's compare this to something that is... No, you sound fine, Master. Let's compare this to something that's more similar to... This kind of feels more along the Castlevania side of the Metroidvania spectrum. Let's compare it to, like, Simply the Night and how it kind of draws you along.
Symphony of the Night has a different enemy type every 5 steps.
Yes. Yeah, that's another
I
thing.
guess that is, some people on the Discord have mentioned that is why they like Castlevania games.
We're talking to somebody who doesn't like Castlevania Train. So Symphony of the Night, you start off at the end of Rondo of Blood. And then the mystery of Alucard coming into the castle. So you have an immediate mystery to drive you forward from there. And why is the castle there? And then death greets you, like, within 5 minutes of entering the castle and takes all your stuff away. And so you also have the hook there that you need to power up. That kind of draws you in. And then, of course, the level design of the castle takes you to the clock tower as kind of a linear path, and then you meet up with what's her face? Do you remember her name? Maria. And the plot keeps rolling from there. And at that point, I think that the hooks are in you, and so you can just take your time and explore the castle. And then, as Master mentioned, there is a lot of novelty in the castle itself. Why are you booing? Oh, boss. I was like, why is Now booing? Boss looks cool. He's not very bright so far.
Just like, the rooms are kind of big and empty feeling. And there's nothing, just enemies. There's a chest in the corner sometimes.
I just feel like this game needs a hook. I mean, you don't have to explain what every monster is, but kind of giving an idea of what you're doing and why you should care, I think, is important.
Went from what, like 1 or 2 to 23 soul crystals? Good lord.
Those chests feel really inconsequential.
You paid 100 gold to open that chest.
This face is going to let you spend those crystals now. Oh.
Yeah.
I called it.
Yes.
Okay.
Cost 50, so...
It's showing off that there's a skill tree. Well, this could be interesting.
Looks okay.
See, putting aside plot reasons, stuff like this could get you addicted to the game and keep you going.
Yeah, so.
Whenever I see skill trees, I just...
You don't like skill trees?
Well...
I find them very addictive, depending on how well they're done. They're addictive.
I usually don't find them addictive.
They're usually... So... I'm enamored with them at first, and then I analyze and break them down, and then at that point I decide whether or not I enjoy it, or whether or not they just annoy me. Like, Control is kind of leaning towards the annoy me side of the spectrum, which I'll talk about in my review, but I don't think it's terrible, but I do think it adds some replayability to the game, but I always kind of think about balance issues and that sort of thing. How it makes the game more interesting.
So, okay, it looks like I can't actually unlock it.
So can you move on that tree, or are you stuck in that middle part?
So I can. Oh wait, I guess.
Oh, so
wait, do I have to start at the bottom which costs 100?
I don't even think those are done. Try the top.
So before this one said 20, I was pretty sure. But all of them require way more than I have besides this one.
Okay.
Maybe you have to start with the heavy attack.
Well,
I tried to.
You have more than one
so
tree.
if I hit LB RB, then it lets me switch. Maybe
even RB.
Weapon.
Ah, now that makes sense.
So you have 4 identical trees, but they're all like for different weapons. So basically, you invest in one weapon the whole game.
So the sword you're using is the yellow sword. Maybe you have to upgrade from the yellow tree.
Is it the?
Isn't your sword yellow?
It is yellow. My start button doesn't work in here.
Pre-alpha.
Actually, it just doesn't work anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
Well,
Smashing buttons.
Stuff like that is especially expected during an alpha.
Yeah. So yeah, yellow. And no, it won't let me unlock it. So, okay. I guess I'm not getting a heavy attack.
Maybe menu features are just broken right now. There's a glitch. Yeah, the whole stun enemies until they die. It's just it's not as interesting as hit once and then dodge and then dance around. Not that like 3 or 4 hit combos are bad per se.
I can say I would not enjoy this game on a full release, probably, unless a lot of things change, which they may because it is a pre-alpha.
I think my biggest complaint is the lack of a hook. I think that with a good hook, you can, I'm not going to say excuse, but you can motivate activities that would otherwise just be boring on their own. You can make a game that's entirely based off of game mechanics. Like, I'd say that Trash Quest falls into that, where it holds up entirely based on the game's mechanics. But something like this, where it has kind of more of an RPG feel to it, you have to have some kind of driving force behind it. Story is one direction you can take it. Level design is another thing you can try. Wow, spikes instant kill you, huh? Does any of the fight the boss
I was
again?
at like half. I think I was at like half health. Also, my dash stopped working.
Oh.
Yeah, just completely deactivated now.
Well, do you want to call?
Oh wait, no, I was pressing the wrong button.
Oh. That would make the dash not work too.
Yeah,
Is that the boss?
Nah.
Why is he here?
Maybe.
Wait, no, you did fight that guy before.
Yeah, this is the same.
The hit stun is just a little strong, a little overpowered.
Well, so
What?
it's when you're hitting one enemy, it does that.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Eternal Blade. That was like the entirety of the combat was just whacking enemies until they died, and just kind of felt old. Dust is similar that way too.
This looks painful.
And with that said, there are certain combo-based games that work great, like Devil May Cry and Vernal Edge has potential there.
Vernal Edge isn't out yet. I don't think it's fair to compare.
Well, this isn't out yet. I think it's perfectly fair to compare this to that.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here.
You're supposed to light the things. The question is... Oh, this is easy.
Unless this makes me fail. Okay.
But wait, doesn't make you fail? You, okay.
You had it just a second ago, so go up, left, down. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It was an activity, alright.
So if you could fail, would it not be an activity?
That's good question.
I think it probably would be a... I do like how the heart pieces let you actually have the heart piece as part... No, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, but it is visible at least, which is kind of cool.
That is a cool way of making it show, which is something that Zelda probably should have done. I don't know, I guess might be confusing to players. Maybe they think it becomes health if you show it that way. Anyway, if you could fail on that puzzle, then it does mean that you have to kind of learn the pathway and...
My question is, what is the
Execute
point
it.
of that kind of puzzle?
Give you some variety, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, unlocking puzzles. I don't know, they can sometimes be good. To be honest, the puzzles in Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate was my favorite part of that game. It was like the one part of the game where I felt like I was actually engaged by the gameplay.
So what do puzzles do? What makes a puzzle? You're testing your skill in some way.
I think that we've asked this question before. I think it's a matter of how much you have to actually think about it. Cognitive engagement, I guess. And the activity is just, already know what to do, and your lizard brain is just executing it.
Oh man, so many chests.
Wow.
Well, you can have a lot of potions.
One soul crystal.
Talk about being rewarded for exploration.
By the way, you do have a map, right?
I have not found the map.
Okay, so you hit the select button and it doesn't do anything? Okay.
Well, select button brings up the controls. Except now it no longer does that.
Oh.
Because the menu's broken.
Yeah.
Well, it's an alpha.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a dilemma. There are some games where the pattern is so obvious that, you know exactly what's going to come around the next corner. And New Lily's had that a little bit where it's just like, oh, look, it's a checkpoint. There's probably a boss next to it. Like, when it gets a little predictable because of the way they do things. That can be a problem sometimes. But on the same token, it does give you something to look forward to.
Something where it might not be a problem is predicting where save points are. Especially in, like, Castlevania game. I always... Like, I know where the save points are going to be. Just because they're laid out the same in every single game.
Yeah, you kind of get that intuitively eventually. Although then you have a game like Chasm where, like, I'm literally dying and the save point's the only thing that could save my life. That feels pretty tense. Let's see, so... I look over and see 397 people are watching someone else play a game called Power Wash Simulator, and now I'm sad. Why are we playing Power Wash Simulator, guys?
Because people can't afford their own power washers.
We're just
I saw a review for that game that said, I'm a power washer, why did I buy this? It seems like a satisfying game. Like, I might purchase that if it has content.
Hey, things are getting interesting now. You have a little laser thing here. Okay, here's my suggestion. Give the laser in 5 minutes into the game and make it part of the combat, because that actually looks like it's getting to be engaging now.
Although I'm out of MP now.
Oh, that's a problem. And you get MP from killing things, right? Not from hitting enemies? Okay.
Right.
That was cool, though.
Yeah. And you could cancel into it.
Yeah.
So you could make combos out of it.
Yeah,
You said it only stun-locked with one enemy, but you clearly just stun-locked 2 enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the character action game stuff that you're missing, though, is that you can't play with your food. You just gotta... You got one dominant strategy, and that is hit that button. See, when you're throwing the thing, it's kind of nice. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So one other thing about the dash is, like, if you cancel an attack into it, then you do a back dash. But if you don't, you do a forward dash. So you might do something completely different. Depending on something that's context sensitive, that can end really quickly.
So that eyeball that you just got through didn't have a crystal in front of it, so you would have had to, like, backtrack and reset the enemies if... Now I actually feel like something's happening. Hey, that's...
Because I got an ability upgrade.
Yeah, you got an ability upgrade and you're breaking through all these eyeball doors.
You have a key, oh boy.
Feels like progress.
It's the same key I had before, but I broke the old one.
Symphony of the Night has a key, guys. You buy it from a library. Is
Is that a joke?
Is that actually... No, I was just saying the key getting doesn't necessarily mean it's not a Metroidvania.
Oh.
one key to
I was straw manning. um, is that key required in Symphony of the Night? Like I always bring that up as you can have keys, it's fine. Example, but I don't know if it's actually required.
I have to remember where the door was.
I wonder if Power Wash Simulator is like one of those ASMR
Absolutely.
appeals.
You ever just want to power wash something? That's an urge people have.
I can see the appeal of it. Yeah. Well, you have those like satisfying YouTube videos where you have people like making cakes and whatever. It's funny that we watch videos of that type of thing. Or that people watch videos of that type of thing.
People watch all kinds of degenerate stuff on the internet.
I like how that's
People
degenerate.
Watch people play Metroidvanias.
If anything, that's like the definition of wholesome, like cleaning, like. I like the music it plays every time you break those eyeballs too.
Like I solved a puzzle.
Yeah, that's a good solve the puzzle sound. So did that hand to the wall do anything? It just kind of glowed.
It seemed to just glow. There was no like press up in front of it, and I tried pressing up.
Mm.
I need to turn up the volume so I can actually hear the eyeball sound effect.
It's like what is that instrument? Sitar or whatever.
By default, I just have things on the volume, so I can like hear you smacking things, but I can't really hear much else.
I guess that was technically a hidden item. Can you hear like the? Yeah, apparently you can play sounds.
I'm not hearing those. I can turn the volume up.
I don't think.
How do you play those?
I think it just plays it automatically.
No!
I don't. Yeah, it's not actually. Yeah, it's not when I press a button.
Interactive music is the best music.
Well,
Games
now we
never
got
do
red
it.
zones.
Do you realize how many videos on YouTube people make of just playing the stupidest stuff on your in-game instrument? Like, that's the way to... That's how you get people.
Oh, it's Ocarina of Time in those games.
People will find a way to script it, and then people will find a way to play Megalovania on it. And
Yeah, Megalovania is the one that comes on there. You know, considering the name of that song, I'm surprised it hasn't been used in a Metroidvania game yet. Is it Megalomania or is it Megalovania?
Zvania.
Is it Vania?
Is it?
There's a power-up in Skull where you're a rocker, and your special is a whole band comes in and jams, and it's amazing. I think that music-based mechanics is not done enough. That's actually one of my favorite things about Chronicles of Teddy was I really like the music mechanics in that game. Oh, it's Metroidvania. It's got buzzsaws.
Okay, so what you do, you just you put notes like in a circle. That's the thing you can do. And then you just assign the note to where you're pointing your joystick. That's it.
It's Phenotopia right there.
No, but like not just like 4 notes that you can play.
Oh,
in
you're saying
some
you want
sort
to
of
just
scale.
you want to do the weird Xbox music or not Xbox X-Files. That
What?
or what is that what was that show? It sounds like radio tuning. I don't want to make the sound. Maybe I should find it on my phone and play it.
I want people to be able to play actual music to some degree in the game.
I think that's kind of neat. Being able to do that, I mean.
Yeah. I liked in Starbound you have different instruments and they all make different noises, and you can in like Steam Workshop, I believe there's mods that you can just add music to your game and play it with different groups of instruments with your friend. It's like the only interesting thing that game does.
It's kind of neat music. This boss isn't the brightest. It's weird that his shield seems to block you from the right side.
Yeah.
I can't quite tell what's happening.
Tell me if the music's too loud. But I want the music to be able to be heard.
It just seems kind of broken
no.
right now.
By the way, have you noticed that the death mechanics are full loss, or?
You know, I don't remember.
It's funny when there aren't like major consequences for dying. I usually just don't even bother trying to keep myself alive in those situations. I'll kill myself just to get to the save point faster.
If the game wants me to be immersed, it will actively try to immerse myself.
Nah, I'll still
And
save
I
point
will
even if I'm
not
trying
just
to
kill
be immersed.
But in most platformers that I play, I will absolutely kill myself trying to do stupid things.
That was one nice thing that they did in Ender Lilies is you can just go back to the checkpoint just by hitting the start button instead of having to kill yourself to do it. Welcome, Elphys Belmont. Cauldrath is fighting a guy who has a magic shield that blocks from both directions, even though he's pointing in the other direction. There's a bit of lag on the game for some reason.
Yeah.
Part of the
Slow
alpha.
down.
So I don't know if it's so much that the jumping is floaty, but the game is just slowing down. Well, this boss actually killed you. And
Yeah.
You couldn't just spam attack him to death.
Are you supposed to use your spell when he has out the shield? Because he gives you like spell ammo.
So when you hit the shield, it gives you spell ammo. Okay. Sometimes when you attack him, he seems to be invincible, but you're supposed to break the shield. But yeah, you use the spell to break the shield.
So there's actually strategy here. That's good. I'm okay with this. I think that there's some conveyance issues with how the shield is blocking things, but... And honestly, I would just get rid of that gap behind him. Like, you shouldn't be able to stand behind him at all. Because clearly you're supposed to be standing in front of him this whole time.
Why, like, he just has it out. Like, this is clearly a boss where you're able to jump over him. How can they not expect you to do that? And then the shield just protects him anyways. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting behind the boss is a very classic strategy.
Just make him like turn around or something. If you want the shield to be essential to the fight.
I mean, they do make it behind him a little bit dangerous by the way he kind of twirls his blade occasionally, but...
Sometimes
It's just
he seems to be invincible to the...
Yeah,
Right,
but just
shove
click
it
right through him.
So when he's doing that dash thing, that makes sense, but sometimes it seems like it's even when he's not.
Yep. I don't think he was dashing earlier when he didn't do anything. Like right there. That
Yeah,
should
when
totally...
he's twirling his blade, apparently you can't hit him.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. Conveyance issues.
Oh, apparently you can break it without using the spell.
Okay.
It's hard to tell when you're doing damage. He doesn't always flash.
Alright, what are you gonna get? You gonna get a sword? Nope, he ran away. Oh, that's it.
Oh, oh boy.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Well, I think the graphics are great.
I don't.
You don't like the graphics. So that's one vote for graphics, one vote for the graphics aren't good. So it looks like it says Legend of Djinns Mira CEO.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if that was intentional.
But the O is the only one that's an abbreviation because it has the period afterwards. Or it's CEO. Oh.
CEO. I don't know if that was intentional at all.
Search the game. Search Steam. I just find a post. They put a post on r/Steam, but it was banned because of advertising.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
I was planning on playing Glimmer and Mira demo if we ended early, but we have 20 minutes left. So probably won't get that far in it.
Yeah, I can take a look at it though.
Yeah, probably enough to
30 minutes.
start it.
30 minutes is about as much time as I give any demo when I do my demo stream, so I think it's fine.
Let me try to swap over to it.
So is there a backdash for the main character? Yes. You had a backdash and a forward dash. At least he did during that boss fight. Wow, you switched over to that pretty nicely. There was like no no transition at all. That was good. So it's another game with great art. It has a very I don't know what's the word, shoujo style to it. Okay, maybe not. Now it's not very shoujo at all.
It might just be different for cutscenes.
Could be.
Yeah, you open the game and it just looks like it was made in MS Paint, but the cutscene looks good.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to try
I
this
think
one
this would be
myself.
better without the generic piano. Like, just having the wave sound and the breaking and nothing else would be better.
Well, this is pleasant. So Memphis Belmont says the boss should have had a similar, or one more attack similar to with the glowing void animation, but it doesn't AoE around itself. And yeah, I agree. It kind of left itself open to you being on the right side of them. There's a little bit of a dichotomy in the art styles here, the in-game versus those cutscene art.
Yeah.
I like her hair physics.
What happened? Did you get Isekai or something?
I think she might have.
So.
I think she just did.
Oh, no D-pad.
I like how that's like a verb
No.
now. He's a kite.
I like putting names to things and then applying the name because it really just it takes like the power out of it. Like this plot, you just say like, oh, they got Isekai, and then you know what that means, and it kind of loses its mystical value.
You just like ruining it, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't like ruining things, just I really don't value it as a plot. I think that's a better fit for the image. I like the backgrounds a lot.
They obviously put a lot of work into animating the hair.
Wait, did you just get...
Probably not that much.
Is this a dream
just
within a
not-
dream now?
Taking into account the length of the game in the demo version. Okay.
Oh, so you're just getting text dumped.
Hey, that's fair per demo.
That's fine. That's fine. At least they're saying that they're gonna do a better job when the game comes out.
Oh, now I have a
Oh,
projectile.
this is
I
like
don't
the
have any
second.
meters. Oh,
This is like the second CD. This is like Robbie Ribby. I think this is a lot like Robbie Ribby, the way that just fires away like that.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with it, but I do have a dislike of this style of generic ambient music. That sort of makes sense. I mean,
I like it. This might be
Yeah,
why you don't
there's
like
nothing
Ori,
wrong
because
with
this
it.
is like Ori music.
oh,
that's why.
oh, well, that's what I guess that's why.
Her hair is like hypnotic.
You gotta buy the game just for the hair.
Now, I made some...
Oh, you can actually look down and up with the right stick. That's nice.
I always like that. I just made comparisons to Robbie Ribby, but actually you fall like a rock in this game, which is definitely not similar to that.
Combat in this game is already more interesting than the Djinn.
Alright, so let's try and identify why this is more interesting, but because things are breaking, man, that's why. It feels like things are happening.
Secret areas already.
Yeah.
Running around just spamming a laser at stuff. I mean, what's not fun about that?
Yeah, it's like the same move she's using here was like use up like a quarter of your MP in the other game.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a little overpowered from the start if it keeps things interesting. That's one of the things. That's one of the strengths of the Team Ladybug games is that even from the beginning, you just feel like you just rock things. You can't go through those thistles on the left?
Maybe.
Backseat game
Yeah.
for him.
I was helping him get those yellow things that he's not going to be able to use in this demo. Gosh. See, this is why this game is better already. You can make huge explosions.
The card shot does use the meter. Oh,
Don't.
I kind
that
of
did
don't
almost
like.
no damage.
Oh no, see, it's better because the
meteor's coming
numbers
back.
start higher. Instead of 2 damage, you do 200 damage.
That's the solution to everything.
Sometimes when you play a game that's really slow and then you play a game that's just slightly faster, it feels like you're going like 80 miles an hour.
I think mainly, yeah, I guess it's faster and the level design is more condensed and it's zoomed in more. And I
Yeah.
feel like when games are zoomed out a lot and they have giant rooms with giant ceilings, it's harder to be interesting.
Well, the
Even
backgrounds
though,
the backgrounds here
Yeah.
are also a lot more detailed.
yeah. But you know, when you have zoomed in and low ceiling, it can be cramped or get maze-like. You know, they use up a lot of a room just going back and forth in the maze, as games do.
No, I think this is neat.
I don't like I need to stop comparing the two games
No,
because
I
it's
mean-
not worth it.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
one's a
fair.
melee-based
Me.
game and this is a range-based game.
It's not fair. However, I don't think it's completely because we did just play that one, and it does help identify maybe some things that could be improved about the other game.
I just made me use my charge shot as the cutscene started.
So this is one of those.
Now there's going to be a huge misunderstanding, and then they're going to fight for no reason.
Some
I
of those
realize afterwards that there was no reason for them to fight.
every protagonist is a cute girl of some kind, or every character is a cute girl of some kind.
I don't like that.
The moe culture.
I wish it would not.
No, this is neat. I actually am really interested in playing this one now. Oh, Mirror Spirits.
Oh,
So they're familiar.
Translated in the lower left.
Oh, that's interesting. So do you think this game is Taiwanese, just like Ravi Ribby, or do you think it's do you think it's coming from China, mainland China? I mean,
I don't recognize any of those characters, so it's probably not Japanese, at least.
it's Chinese. There's no Japanese in there.
Well, I mean, it could be kanji.
There'd be kana if it was Japanese, though. Anyway, what were you saying, Master?
It has leveling up, but it's only for your companions and not for you, it seems.
100 levels.
So, leveling up won't necessarily make you overpowered because of this.
So it increased my max health, but did not increase my health. Whereas that one increased my max health and my health. Okay. So this one also has a slight delay when you turn around. And you shoot in the different direction. So like if I press left and then immediately shoot, it still shoots to the right.
So you have to pause for a second before shooting.
Yeah.
It might be good for them to change that. So another thing that I'd like to make as a comparison with the other game is that when you see an enemy, look how quickly he got rid of it. He didn't have to go up to it and spend 1 or 2 seconds wailing on it.
It was more than 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, so they could definitely stand to reduce the health of the enemies in Mira.
In the other game, yeah. Or, change the ethos of combat so it's more interesting. This is cool. It's bombastic. It's great. She is now the count.
Need a Sesame Street Metroidvania.
So this game. So this is not a pre-alpha game. This was in the Next Fest demo list, right?
Yeah. I'm just now getting around to playing through it.
Yeah, it was on my list of possibles to play on a Saturday.
I got a piece of spirit.
Those backgrounds just kind of draw me in. It's great.
Still think this shooty effect's a little too flashy.
I think it's fun.
It's not that bad.
Too flashy. What is this thing?
Yeah.
It's not like you need the
What
readability.
the spikes out of nowhere? Or did you jump over those before?
Yeah, I jumped over them before. I just caught the edge that time.
I wasn't paying enough attention apparently.
I think I'm just a boring person who doesn't like flashy lights or bright things.
I'm a fan
loud
of subtlety
noises.
too. I don't know. I kind of go from one extreme to the other. I enjoy my JoJo as well. So you've already got 1,200, whatever those things are, shinies.
Whoa. Found another type of
Heart
heart
piece.
piece.
Yeah.
Can we get rid of... Can we cancel heart pieces, please?
I do like how Phenotopia handled it, where it was just a number. It's
Like, it's
fine. You gotta have a
not-
staple collectible.
They're not bad all the time, it's just... it gets so old when everything's a heart piece.
But Hollow Knight did it, so it couldn't be wrong.
So, Melphis Belmont says, it's flashy, but so far no gameplay has been tight enough that it hides important info. And that's true.
Right, I agree.
Although I do think it's time for a boss. Come on.
What is this?
Oh, she's at a dead end somehow.
I think that was a save point right beforehand. Oh my god.
Moe culture. He's gotta do something cute.
What culture is this?
Moe culture.
Okay.
It's the idea of people in their, I don't know what the exact wording is. Their purest form of beauty, I guess, which they interpret as little girls. I'd have to look up the exact definition, but generally speaking, it's why you see little girl protagonists being cute.
The text was rainbow. Interesting.
So this boss is pretty good. It's like a Mega Man boss. Mega Man game mechanics, why not?
Seems like a pretty, like, average, but in a good way, kinda.
Yeah,
Boss.
standard.
I do wish that it kind of, like, I don't know if there was some sort of tell of whether or not it was going to shoot high or low.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a few tries to know it is.
But it was over fast enough that I didn't really need to learn. But I guess it's a demo boss. But a lot of times they like beef up the boss for a demo since it's going to be the only one you run into.
So she has a very Japanese sounding name. Like Shiro means white. I don't know what that would be in Mandarin.
Did she just literally run into something collapsing on her?
Yeah.
She was trying to save the egg. And she did. And now she's a scarecrow again.
Imagine T-posing when you're scared.
You don't?
What I'm wondering is these people seem so like innocent and inept. Who dressed them? Like, who dressed them that way?
Maybe,
Looks
I don't know.
exactly like a lot of the things I was murdering before.
I like
Yeah,
how
but
the
this
boss is
one's
just
white.
like hanging out with you now. They have Ragnarok online emotes.
I can definitely imagine there's somewhere out there that has emotes with these characters. Because that happens with every Moe thing.
Like
It's really annoying.
Master doesn't like Moe.
It weirds me out a little bit, I'll admit.
So I think it's fine when it's just cute.
Yes, I can appreciate the cute. But yes, it does get a little weird when it starts to cross that line.
I prefer Yoku's Island Express kind of cute.
Have you heard of Moemon?
No.
No.
Somebody went through Pokemon's Ruby and Sapphire and replaced all of the Pokemon with little girl versions of the Pokemon. Like it's like a girl
Why?
wearing a Snorlax costume or a girl wearing a Pikachu costume.
I guess that's cute.
So how do they evolve? Do they just put on a more elaborate costume?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. But somebody put a lot of care into those sprites to make them look that way.
It's a fun fan project.
Probably not high on my priority list of things I would do if I did a fan project, but
So far this game doesn't seem like it has any ability gating. Like I just got like some wings, but didn't give me a double jump or an air dash or anything like that.
This has only been linear so far.
yeah, I mean it is a demo. But do you have a map?
That's the definitive thing for becoming a Metroidvania.
No, I mean,
Have a map.
if it has a map, then it may open up later. You have to remember that most Metroidvania games start out really linear. Oh, apparently
Yeah.
they're just bird girl people. That's why they look that way. She's not in a costume.
Huh?
But hey, look, it's an adult. AKA a literal just big version of...
Yeah, are you sure she's an adult, not just a really big one?
It's just a big one. Just a big child. Oh, she's a fairy. Okay. It's an interesting interpretation of what a fairy should look like. Oh,
Now I can
you
check if
got
there's
you
a map.
got through the demo in 20 minutes. Well, it's a good thing.
There we go, perfect timing. And we have an email address. Send all your feedback to feedback@mapledorm.com.
Anyway, it looks fine. It'll be interesting to see how it develops and whether or not it actually becomes a Metroidvania. I do find the differences in art styles a little bit
Yeah, like this looks
interesting.
like a traditional anime art style.
Yeah.
And then a different one in the cutscenes, then a different one in the game itself.
But, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Interesting.
I think it looks neat. I'd be interested in playing it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Anti-Moe.
It does seem like it might just wind up being a linear platformer. So
Well, let's see how they're advertising it real quick before I know that it's been tagged as Metroidvania, but...
Maybe it's just been incorrectly translated as Metroidvania and they meant like Moe Village or something.
Search Action and Moe Village are the same, like translate the same way.
I'm gonna guess this is Taiwanese, but I don't know for sure. Beautiful scene, tranquil natural forests. So it's got a little bit of a translated.
See, it's a 2D story-rich action shooting game. I don't
wonder
see
where-
anything about exploration.
I wonder where I got the Metroidvania tag. Oh well, this may be one of those things that you just won't find out until it gets released.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it winds up being similar to Mega Man Zero,
Could be.
like structure-wise.
Man, the backgrounds are amazing, though. I'm looking at some of the other screenshots on the Steam page, and it's just gorgeous backgrounds.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it is an isekai type of story. Honestly, that's kind of what Robbie Ribby's plot was, except that it's the rabbit that got isekai'd.
Isekai,
Oh,
and
oh.
then also turned into basically a human.
So it says on the store page, classic Metroidvania level designs gather the Glimmer to converge into a ranged attack to defeat your enemy. That's in the same sentence, so...
I guarantee they think Metroidvanias are just getting upgrades.
I don't know. It's also possible that it just doesn't translate very well for them. But we'll see.
Yep.
We shall see. Anyway, that I think that's a good place to wrap up the stream. That was 2 demos that we got to see tonight. One of them's on Kickstarter, if it's something that interests you. I think that there's potential for both of these games.
Yep.
So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Uh,